Hi everyone, welcome to this grade 9 maths video. In this video I'm going to be covering term 3 test scope, so basically everything you're going to be learning about in term 3 and what you should be revising before your term 3 test. So in term 3 in grade 9 you should be having a look at these topics. So geometry of 3D shapes, area and perimeter, data handling and probability. And hopefully in this video, if you're looking at it at the start of the term, it's just going to give you an idea of what you should be working towards, what you're going to be covering. And if you're looking at it before your test, then hopefully it helps you to kind of pick out your problem areas and remind you what you need to be studying. So geometry of 2D shapes, you are going to be looking at different types of triangles. So for instance, you're going to know an equilateral triangle. That is when you have all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal. Isosceles triangle is when you have two sides are equal and then two angles are equal. Or a right angle triangle is a triangle with a right angle. You're also going to be looking at quadrilaterals. So classifying them based on how many sides by like the parallel sides, the angles, the diagonals. So you're going to be looking at parallelograms, trapeziums, kites. You're going to be looking at congruency, similarity, and then solving problems using properties of triangles and quadrilaterals. As an example of the kind of question you can expect in this section, you might have a quadrilateral has three angles of 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. Find the size of the fourth angle. So quadrilaterals, this is a law that you have to know. The interior angles of a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So it doesn't matter what quadrilateral you're talking about, any shape with four sides, the interior angles have to add up to 360 degrees. So if we know that one angle is 90, another is 90, another is 90, that means the fourth angle has to also be 90 degrees. So you can work this out and you can say 360 degrees, take away 90, take away 90, take away 90 is 90 degrees. You might have known that straight away. But that's the kind of thing you're going to be looking at. So they're going to give you a problem. You need to know a property of a quadrilateral. You need to know that angles add up to 360 degrees. So you can work out a missing angle. We're also looking at area and perimeter this term. So you need to know different formula to calculate the perimeter and the area of different polygons. You need to use formula to calculate the area and the circumference of circles. So I always have a song. You might want to check if it's on, you can find it on YouTube. So pi r squared sounds like area to me. It's a very annoying song. It's still stuck in my head from when I was in grade 9. So the area of a circle pi r squared sounds like area to me, but if I need circumference, I just use pi d, so pi times the diameter. You're going to be converting between SI units for length and area, and you're going to be investigating how doubling the dimensions affects perimeter and area. As an example of a question you might get in your grade 9 term 3 test, so find the area of a circle with a radius of 7 centimeters. So that means we're looking at a circle like this, and they tell us the radius, so that is from the center to the edge, is 7 centimeters. What is the area? And so in my very annoying song, pi r squared sounds like area to me. So area is pi r squared. Because you have to learn this formula, you often get a mark just for writing that formula down. So make sure you write it down, because even if you mess up your calculation, at least you get that mark. So pi r squared sounds like area to me. That means they tell us how use pi is 22/7. So 22/7 times by the radius is 7 squared. And then this is going to be 22 over 7 times 7 squared is 7 times 7, so 49. And then we're going to plug that into our calculator, and we're going to get 154. And remember, area is always, because it's that little square, it's centimeters squared or meters squared. So just check what unit you have, and then you add that square. We're also looking at data handling, so choosing appropriate methods and sources for collecting data. So it might be like, if I want to find out what people's favorite pet is it better for me to like go around door to door or to send out a survey? Examples like that. Organizing data using measures of central tendency and dispersion, representing data with bar charts, histograms, pie charts, scatter plots. So lots of these you've already seen before in grade 8, from grade 4 already, you've been doing this sort of stuff. And then interpreting, analyzing, and reporting on data critically. So an example of a question in this section would be, a data set is this. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. So you need to know these definitions. They're not going to give these to you. So let's work out. The easiest one is always the mode for me. So mode, I remember it, mode is most popular. So the most popular one here is we have 2 7s. So that is our most popular number there. Your mean is also your average. And how we work that out is it's always the total divided by how many. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be, we add all of these up. So 4, add 7, add 7, add 9, add 10, add 12, add 15. And we divide it by how many numbers there are. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. And that is what we're going to work out. And so if we work that out then quick, 4, add 7, add 7, add 9, add 10, add 12, add 15 is 64. So it's going to be 64 divided by 7, which is 9.14. So that is our mean. Let's just circle these so we can kind of see, because there is quite a lot of working out going on here. Our median, so median to me always sounds like middle, and that is exactly what it is. There are a few ways of finding your median. I like if the numbers are ordered like this, so it goes from smallest to biggest, I just kind of cross out to find the middle number. So I would go like this. I cross out at the beginning number, so I cross out the 4, cross out the 15, cross out the 7, cross out the 12. So you just go back and forth like this until you have one last number or two last numbers. So this one, the middle number is 9. So that is my median. And then the range, which is probably the easiest one of these. So range is always just what is the biggest number minus the smallest number. So here, the biggest number, although I've crossed them all out now, is 15. The smallest number is 4. 15 minus 4 is 11. And so that is our range for this data set. Also this term we are looking at probability. So we are going to be looking at probability for compound event using two-way tables. We're going to use tree diagrams. So the tree diagrams kind of look like something like this. You'll see them. Be like, if I throw a coin, I could get heads or I could get tails. And then if I throw another coin, I could get heads or I could get tails. Could get heads or I could get tails. Comparing relative frequency and then listing all the possible outcomes of an experiment. So for example, if I threw a die or threw a dice, I could get a 1, I could get a 2, I could get a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. As an example of a question in this section, a coin is tossed and a die is rolled at the same time. How many possible outcomes are there in total? Okay, so let's look at the outcomes for a coin. So a coin, we could get heads or we could get tails. A die, we could get a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, a 5, or a 6. How many possible outcomes are there in total? So we could get, for example, a heads and a 1, heads and 2, heads and 3, heads and 4, heads and 5, or heads and 6. Or we could get tails and 1, so you get the idea. Tails and 2, tails and 3, tails and 4, tails and a 5, or tails and a 6. So those are, if you had to list out all the possible outcomes, that is it. But we just want to know how many that is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 possible outcomes. Okay, so that is kind of a very quick breakdown of what you're going to be looking at in term 3. I really hope this has helped you. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and also make sure to keep an eye out for my grade 9 term 3 test video, which goes through a full test paper to help you revise.